Check.
Are you ready over there?
Yeah. What do you mean? Hold on.
God, Trey, come on, man. I'm ready. I can feel it. It's pulsing, dude.
Okay.
Ideas. Yeah.
And we're back in the Forge Lounge for more Q&A.
Obsidian ammonia, boy. Shall we
Start it up, right?
shake? Let's do it. Ready?
Let's do it.
Shake, shake. Pank, pank.
I was late on Pank, my bad.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's good stuff. That's good.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I can taste that one, man.
I'm ready to answer some questions.
I'm ready. Eyes wide. So
Open.
we
Water
thought we
and
would
wide.
just do a straight up Q&A episode, right? So you guys don't have to listen to 30, 40 minutes of us just kind of flapping our jowls.
Sure.
So we can get...
Yeah, well,
notes.
you guys have had an influx of many questions, so it'd be nice to address some of those things.
Yeah, seriously, it's been great. You guys have been perfect for sending in questions.
Starting there.
Very bottom right there.
Okay.
So let's give you a little backstory on Atussa here.
Dedicating this.
That's a whole episode,
Oh
gentlemen.
yeah, it is a whole episode. I'll just say that she's a original garage crew member, a total OG. She might be the boss lady around here.
She is in charge.
Yeah, what Atussa says goes. So she sent us a couple questions the other night that she'd like us to address, and I think they're pretty cool questions because they're a bunch of common questions that we get pretty frequently.
It's the first one, Trey.
Let's get it. All right, first question is, as far as calorie burning, what is the skinny on cardio versus strength training?
See what she did there.
Yeah, skinny.
I see what you did.
You want to start this one? Or
So cardio versus strength training. Obviously, both will burn calories, but I guess you can consider that there's pros and cons to each. When you're purely doing cardio, yes, you will be burning calories.
Lots of them.
Lots of them. Like, you'll be burning calories for that whole duration. But once you kind of stop that process, that's when the calorie burning kind of ends versus strength training.
You go on, right? It goes on for a while.
Yeah, because you're going to have to be recovering, rebuilding, and the duration of that caloric deficit kind of goes on longer.
Right. So at the end of the day, when you're thinking about weight loss, it's calories in to calories out, right? Mm-hmm. It's just the most simple thing that you can throw out at somebody. If you're eating more than where you are expending, you're going to gain weight. That's plain and simple, right? If you're eating less than what you are expending, you're going to lose weight.
Yeah.
I think. I'm just kidding.
Pretty sure that's how it works.
It's been a while. It's been a while since I've lost weight.
Well, and I feel like cardio is a little bit broad because what type of cardio are you doing? Are you doing slow impact, long duration, or is it high intensity, short duration? What kind of cardio is it?
Right.
That's going to play into the mix also, but it's the same
general principles.
Yeah.
Kind of comes down like you're just doing something that's bringing up your heart rate for like a long duration of time. Kind of could be like considered cardio.
Like going upstairs or, like walking to the fridge for us. That's brings
cardio.
Up our heart rate.
Yeah. Kind of where your threshold's at. Ours is very low for cardio.
We don't know what it took to get into the floor.
Cardio, form of cardio.
It's a lot of ladder to climb.
I think what we commonly see though is people only associate cardio with like, that's what you need for fat loss, right? Like if I don't do cardio, then I'm not losing fat or I won't lose fat. And that's definitely not necessarily the case at all. Like you can definitely be in a deficit burning fat with weight training. So you could throw in cardio as an additional way to burn more calories, but it's not a necessity or has to be your main focus when you're hitting the gym or working out. You will be burning calories mostly based on your overall daily activity, like how many steps you're taking throughout the day.
Yep.
And also when you're in the weight room too, like lifting heavy weight, you will certainly be burning calories doing that. And we're talking about the kind of the aftermath of recovering from the weight training too. But more importantly, it's going to come down to your diet. If you're in a deficit, like Chancellor is saying, you will be burning fat, you will losing calories. And I've had plenty of times where, I've done weight cuts and I've done it as an experiment. Like I did 0 additional cardio aside from my weight training. You can still create and get super lean without having to throw in cardio. So I don't think people necessarily have to, unless it's something they enjoy, be obsessed with cardio and like, oh my God, I need more cardio when they're trying to lose more weight.
Right. And then I think also one thing people kind of, they associate cardio with weight loss, but the titular word cardio, right? Titular, like the title, the titular.
Yes.
That's a word, man. I'm telling you, that's a word. Titular is a word.
I think so. That's the word of the day.
Can we Google this?
Yes, please Google this. But the titular word, cardio,
spelled T-I-C-H.
I don't know how to spell, but I know how to say it. Okay, so
Titular.
The word cardio in itself refers to the heart, right? So when you're doing it, it's more training for the heart, right? That's the performance side.
Yeah.
Cardio doesn't mean that you're going to go lose weight. You're just going to kind of make your heart healthier, right?
Yeah.
And anything that spikes your heart rate up. It doesn't matter if it's HIIT training. It doesn't matter if it's walking. It doesn't matter if it's lifting weights.
It's just work.
So certainly benefits for your heart, lung capacity.
That would be my biggest, you need a little bit of cardio in your life, right? Mm-hmm. But not in the aspect of, hey, you need cardio to lose weight.
Yeah.
No, right? I think Chancellor's right. Like, I don't think you should purely look at cardio as a fat loss tool. It's more of a cardiovascular health, respiratory health.
Titular is a word.
It is a word.
Okay.
But, it shouldn't solely be the focus of like losing fat and they don't go 100%. Cause like, again, if your diet's at a point where you could do an hour of cardio per se every day, but if you're not eating correctly, that won't matter. You will still be in that surplus. You'll still be gaining weight. You get all the cardiovascular benefits of cardio, but it's not like a magic fat loss tool that has to be added in.
Right.
Yep.
One thing that I tell every client, I think Michael touched on that too, is as soon as you step off that treadmill, you step off that elliptical, or you're done with that HIIT training class, you're usually done burning calories at that point, right? As soon as you hit the floor, right? As far as weight training, that lasts long because you're regrowing, repairing, rebuilding.
Yeah.
Right. So I think strength training is king when it comes to losing weight and body aesthetics, right? But cardio can be added in too. But for me, it's more of like walking, like fat burning cardio, right? Keeping your heart rate down, doing like 45-minute walk before bed or 10-minute walks after you eat. Yeah. Something like that seems more reasonable than going and just running on a treadmill or just slamming yourself around on an elliptical.
Right.
Right.
Well, and something like that would be more ideal if you were to pair it also with weight training. Yeah. Something that's low impact that you can fit in your schedule.
Exactly, right? Yeah. That should be added.
You want to look at the broader scope of your recovery too. If you're doing way too much cardio and hitting the weights, like you're going to burn yourself.
You're going to burn muscle, right?
Yeah,
so
muscle.
Then you'll be one of those weird.
And that's another aspect of the strength training as far as losing weight goes. You can look at the body composition aspect of it too. You're going to be building muscle, right?
Yeah.
So.
And muscle,
weight
if you're
is
building,
more than fat.
Yeah, and it's more demanding of calories. You burn more. If you have more muscle mass, you also burn more calories because those muscles require a lot more energy
to move yourself around the day. So, king, in my opinion. Did we answer all of that question? That was like 3 questions in one.
Yeah, I mean, question 1 is long over.
Okay,
cool. You killed it.
Let's do question 2. Next to the next one.
Next question. I like this one. What are the health benefits for a 50-year-old female and strength training?
It's a really good one. I think a lot of that could be addressed as part of like injury prevention too, is like rehab, right, Mike?
Yeah, I think there's one thing you'll find as women get older is like osteoporosis is a big thing.
Huge for women.
Fragility with that. So I think weight training has been shown time and time again through research that is the best way to strengthen and densen up your bones.
Because you're going to slowly be on like a downward decline, right? The only way to flatten the curve, right, is to be under external load.
Yeah.
So even if it's not, like, it doesn't have to be heavy weights.
No, just resistance training.
It's just resistance training. You just got to be kind of tugging against that resistance.
So from an injury perspective, that's obviously going to be big, but there's also just numerous health benefits to it as well, right?
Right.
Kind of like into the performance aspect or training aspect, the weight training is going to be beneficial for a 50-year-old for like the same reason to be beneficial to anybody else, right? You're going to get stronger. You're going to build up bone and tissue and ligament and resiliency with those. Kind of as you can, like we were saying earlier, you can use it as a way to lose fat, gain muscle.
And then the performance side also is just like being able to do things better outside of the gym. Right?
Yeah, everyday things.
Right? Even especially if, your job is a sedentary, individual, right? Is you don't get a lot of activity during the day, you should be kind of pushing your body a little bit when you're in here.
Mm-hmm.
So I think 50-year-old females are probably our main demographic in here too.
Yeah, most people.
So most of our ladies here are around that age.
Mm-hmm.
And they have come to me multiple times saying that they felt better, right? Like they're less pain. They're able to do what they like to do, like gardening and, things around the house where something stupid like lifting cat litter has become like an easy chore for them, right?
Well, I think that's one thing that's really big is like, when you're in your 20s and 30s, like even if you're not actively training, like your body just is going to feel good and kind of move better. But I think a huge benefit is when you kind of get into the 40s and 50s, for your longevity and quality of life, for the rest of long-term benefit, that's where I see like some of those people getting the best bang for their buck. Cause you're at a point where if you stop or if you're not being active, you're going to notice that decline way faster.
It's like a turning point, right?
It's kind of a big turning point because it's like you'll see somebody that's been active for the last 20, 30 years at 70 versus somebody that's been just continued to be sedentary up to 70. There is a world of difference between that 70-year-old and that 70-year-old that's been active versus one that's stayed and let their body kind of just naturally decline. Like I always consider exercise like the best like miracle for anti-aging.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. I think it'll keep you feeling young. You'll look young. Like like your body will look way different. You'll feel way different. Your energy levels will be way different than if you just stop. So like Chancellor was saying, I think especially around the 40s, 50s, that's when it's like not just for aesthetics or whatever, it's for like long-term health and quality of life.
Just doing what you like to do, but better.
Yeah,
that's a huge thing. Like, and that's pretty much the common for everybody.
Yeah.
Right.
And I want people to also put in perspective that, it's not just because, like, if you're 50 and, like, you've been told or you just kind of have this idea, like, oh, I'm too old or I can't really, like, my body won't be changing or look different. Like,
you can teach an old dog new tricks.
Exactly.
Come on now.
But the body for your whole lifetime is adaptable and you can always be growing muscle. You can always be getting stronger or you can always be moving that needle forward. It doesn't matter when or where you start. I mean, you don't have to have been active in your 20s and 30s. Like, if you're just starting for the first time, like, it doesn't matter. Like, when you're 50, you'll see a world of benefit.
Yeah, even better if you haven't started before. You're going to see it's going to be the difference is going to be night and day.
Yeah.
Like here in a short time, you're going to be feeling like you're 25 again.
Yeah.
So, I think that's pretty much nailed that question down.
Nailed it.
Next.
Part 3. How many days a week should I strength train?
So when people come to me, I tell them I would like to push for 3 days a week, right? And that depends on training history. That's a huge, like, for me, an indicator in my mind. How active are they? How have they trained before? And then how well they're recovering, right?
Yeah.
I usually start people at 2 and we try to push them to 3, right? So you get like a Monday, Wednesday, Friday out of your with a couple of days to kind of rest and recover.
Yeah.
But, if you're one of those people that need a little bit more, you're not feeling it, you're coming in here and you're kind of dragging ass a little bit, we might need to push it back down to 2 so you can recover it up.
Case by case basis.
Yeah. So ideally strength training would be best if we could do 3 to 4 days a week, right?
Yep.
4 days being like kind of the top. I don't think there's a need. And you see all the gym bros hitting the gym 7 days a week.
Yeah.
Right?
You don't need that.
You don't need that.
Yeah.
Your body doesn't like that.
No. You're not taking any account for recovery.
Yeah, I mean, you think you are. You're like pushing it to the limits.
Yeah. I've been there.
You don't like that, man.
Yeah.
So that is based on how you recover, how well you've trained in the past, what you've trained in the past, and then pretty much just your medical history and injuries, right?
Yeah.
See what we can push.
And taking life into account too, like how your schedule is, how much stress you have in your life. If you have a super, super stressful job or tons of kids in life, like, you should be able to fit still 3 to 4, but it's like, if you have to, you kind of have to adjust based on where you're at. So taking the accumulation of even if you have a physical labor job, it's like you want to just see and monitor how you're feeling with all the other stressors on top of the gym and making sure, like they were saying, that you're recovering in between. So it will be case by case dependent, and there's other factors to look at. But I don't think for anybody, like if you're thinking just like once or twice,
you're not going to make any progress.
It's going to be minimal. And like one, it would almost be like not even
worth your time.
2 would be the absolute.
Yeah, that is like the bare minimum.
That's
right?
like you will see some progress. It will definitely be beneficial, but
then again, it's slow. So you just get disciplined about knowing it's going to be slow and it's going to be a lot rockier of a journey, right?
Yeah.
You're going to be sore for longer. It's just because you're just not applying enough stimulus.
So to summarize, bottom end to
minimal.
Like that's like bare minimum.
Bare minimum.
I have plenty of clients that train just twice a week.
Yeah.
But I'm always like trying to push them. Like,
of course,
let's do more.
Yeah,
do more,
so that's not optimal.
Even if it's not with me, do something outside of this,
Yeah.
right? Like we need. And I think one thing that's super easy to do is walking is something you can do every day.
Yeah.
Right?
Sure.
I don't care if it's on a treadmill, if it's outside. Just go for a walk. Walk your dog. Do something, right?
Yeah.
Just move.
Yeah.
But like purely resistance training, minimal would be 2. So then even if you're doing that, like they're saying, you've got to incorporate something else, I think, for the actual benefit.
Yeah.
Because if you're only working out 2 out of 7 days a week and the rest of the time is completely sedentary. Yeah, not the best.
Yeah. Look at the ratio there. That's not good.
Yeah.
I don't know what percentage that is, but it's probably
It's
a strange number.
low, right?
Do the math quick now.
Quick, 33.
Tick tock, tick tock, tick tock.
And then I think the sweet spot's going to be 3 or 4.
Yeah, 4 like time towards like the top end of things, right? And not like here's another aspect of that, right? That's like you're talking about like beginners, right? What about people that have been in the gym forever and they're like, dude, like 2-a-day workouts, 3-day workouts?
Yeah, it's
there's no. How do you? That's way over the top. You can't recover
way
from
over
that.
the top. Yeah.
Dial it back. Pull the reins a little bit. Let your body recover, grow, rebuild. So
I think less can be more. Like we found, like I was like that gym bro that would train 6 or sometimes 7 days a week.
all been there.
And now we're like over a decade into training and we're at 4 days a week, and that's the sweet spot. Covering well, getting stronger, feeling better, moving better. And it's like four sessions a week.
Yeah. It's ideal.
We even tried 5 for a while, and this was recently. And like we just found that we couldn't recover from it.
Yeah.
Look, the load that style that we're training, and the load that we're putting on our body is just too much, right? Yeah. So I know the gym is addicting in itself, which is like that's the hardest thing, and that's a huge conversation I have to have with my clients. Like, hey, you're doing enough. Dial it back. Like you don't need to kill yourself every time you're in here. Right. So it takes more discipline to have those calculated rest days than it does just to go to the gym and dick around again. So that pretty much answers that question.
You did indeed. Are you ready for the next?
Next question, please.
As a female, I'm not feet. This is the question.
No. Well.
If you saw my bench today, you might think differently.
Do you weigh over 200 pounds?
I'm at like 207.5, dude.
Ooh, just barely, man.
Other little fun fact: males out there. This is actually fact though.
Yeah.
If you are under 200 pounds,
might not be considered a male.
Yet.
Yeah. There's room for improvement, remember? It doesn't matter where you start.
You can always get better.
Yeah,
Let's get to 200 pounds.
Yeah.
That's why I'm here.
Yeah. So male Trey.
As a female Trey.
As a female, I'm concerned lifting weights will make me too masculine. Is that true?
I don't want to get bulky. That one?
Yeah.
Huge.
I don't want to get bulky like you.
So that.
Whoa. Which one
are you talking about?
Neither.
Oh. Okay. Noted.
Let's talk about this later, Trey.
That's a huge question.
Very common.
That is a very common concern with every one of my female clients I've ever had. Right? They think that they're gonna hit the gym and look like
us,
right?
Huge, bulky,
But this is something that I have to like dive deep into all the time.
Yeah.
When you want to look like this, you've got to eat like a 400-pound fat guy.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So a lot of what you see in the mirror boils down to how your nutrition is.
Yeah.
Right? If you're eating like a big pig, you're probably going to be one.
Yep.
Yep.
Right? And that's kind of where Michael and I are at right now, just eating everything that we can.
Size.
Right?
It's scary how much food I had to eat to get to just 207.5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
don't you ever stop.
I'm not.
Okay.
But just to speak more on that point is the amount of work it takes to get there.
Yeah, and it's
crazy.
It's very, very deliberate effort to be putting on size. It's not like easier, it just happens. You're not going to turn around the gym and be like, oh my God, I'm huge.
No.
Like out of the blue. Like it's a very slow, this is over decades that we've been putting on strength and size and muscle.
It's a bold
So
life.
if you're getting into this and starting, like and you're a female that's lifting, it will not just turn you into a man.
Another big thing is like those manly women that you're looking at. They're probably getting a little help from things outside the gym, like performance-enhancing drugs. Okay, because most women don't produce as much testosterone as men, and that's kind of what gives us this bulky, big trap.
Yeah, hormones make a huge difference.
Yeah,
males and females are very, very different.
Yeah, and even if they're not getting assistance in that way, and they still are looking that way, and they're lifting huge weights. How much work did it take to get there?
Yeah, and very deliberate over a long period of time. And like again, you're going to see the product. Like you'll see the changes. Like you notice that you're getting more and more size. Like that's again going to be over a long time, but it wouldn't just happen out of the blue. Like you could definitely change your course as far as like okay, maybe I'll change my diet or not be focused so much on just like tons of volume, tons of lifting. So it would never happen on accident, and it's very, very hard to happen.
I wish it happened on accident.
I wish too. Like,
one day I walked in the gym and it came out, it's like, boom.
Even for guys, like they can train for years, and sometimes they'll even look the same. So it doesn't happen on accident. And I think the biggest thing that Chancellor's talked about are the two main things: is you're gonna have to be in a crazy surplus to be putting on that size, like a ton of muscle mass for a girl or guy. And two, the genetic and hormonal profile of male and females are so different that there's no way you're going to be building like tons and tons of muscle mass.
Well, and what I think that some females get kind of concerned with, which I've had experience in the past, is they are coming in with maybe way less muscle mass than when they come out, right? So it feels like, oh my gosh, my quads are huge, like my hips are getting bigger because my glutes have grown. Well, look at the trade-off here, right? You're more functional. You can do things better outside of the gym. You have a little bit more muscle mass in your legs, or would you just have the normal mass that you came in with, which wasn't functional, wasn't helping you out, and it was just weighing you down? Yeah. Right? So, kid, that's the extent to your bulk, right? You're not going to get bulky and just gross looking, right? You're still going to look feminine. So,
yeah, and I think it's changing the culture, but like
strong is the new sexy right now. Come on, man.
Yeah, are we as guys, are we opposed to a little muscle mass in a woman?
Of course not, dude. I look for that, dude.
No chance.
I love that.
So
I'm a thick girl. I'm sassy.
Yeah. So at the end of the day,
thick and sassy.
If you are putting on some muscle size and you feel better, and like you look at yourself and look better, like that's got to be big too. You can't just like think what some dudes or some girls maybe judge you for. It's like at the end of the day, if you're loving this and you're like noticing some more muscle and some changes, it's like
get off the Instagram. You know, you scroll all day looking at these girls that they're posing just right, the lighting's just right, they got enough makeup and filters on. Come on, that's not real life. That's the highlight reel. Right? Just pull yourself back together and be like, okay, this is for me. This is what I look like. Best version of yourself. Right? This is the best version that I'm going to look like. Yeah. Just like I have to tell myself every day when I about have a panic attack when I look in the mirror. For me, this is right.
This is the best I got. I got what I got.
I got what I got.
Yep. But no, end of the day, it's not going to happen. You're not going to turn into a man all of a sudden. And I think females that eventually do start and get into this, like they're happy with the changes they see. I have not had one client that is ever like, "Oh my God, I look like a man."
Yeah,
or I look way too bulky or huge. Like
I've trained clients for years, dude.
Yeah,
and they're not like,
it's never happened.
It's never been like that. And the thing is I tell all my female clients, because usually they're a little bit more scale conscious than the guys are. Stay off the scale for a while. Yeah. Judge yourself in the mirror for a while.
Absolutely.
Right? If you can stand it. Don't be like me. I can't even stand to look at that. But You know what I mean? Like, judge what you see in the mirror, because, like we said before, muscle weighs more than fat. You might put on a little bit of weight, but you're cutting the fat off.
Yeah.
Right? So you kind of have this scale. It's like good things come, you might be a little scared of putting on some weight.
Yeah.
But it's not going to be huge and just like game changing and life changing, right?
It's all gradual progressions and regressions. So
yeah.
Sweet.
That's it.
All right. Thank you for tuning in to the last episode. You had something to say?
Yeah, unless you guys want to do more questions. Do we have more questions?
I don't think we have any questions left.
That was it.
That was all Tessa's, and this episode's for Tessa.
Yeah, this is dedicated.
She gets her own episode? Why does she get her own episode?
We said this at the beginning, Trey. She is
she's the boss,
OG,
man.
and
She will
she's the
cancel
boss.
this. She will cancel this podcast.
If we say one more question that's not hers, the episode will be canceled.
It was a joke. I was joking.
Take it easy, Atussa.
Tessa, I know you like
My
Trey,
bad.
but
Just go home, listen
She
to some
did.
Tesla. Go listen to some Tesla. Take some deep breaths, okay? We don't need punched in the face, okay?
we love you, Tessa.
We love you. All right, so that concludes the third episode.
That's it.
Or
Yeah.
second episode, however we release these.
It's an A episode. It concludes this episode.
So go on, build yourself, conquer adversity, and repeat daily. Do these things, work, school, relationships, and you will succeed.
In life.
Click.
Drop
The
mic.
mic.